What you say?
I told you that it's time to start the show.
That you only meant well.
Yeah, the show's gonna do
Of
well.
course you did. What you say?
I said let's go.
That it's all for the best.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like the best
Of course it
podcast.
is. What you say?
God, do I have to keep repeating myself?
Just what we need. You decided this.
Hold up, I
What
thought we
you
both
say?
decided to do this.
What did she say?
I said let's start the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to What You Say, NOC podcast. My name is Elyse Daly.
And I am Scott Daly.
Together,
We're the Dailies. Yes, this is the podcast where each and every week my wife Elyse and I go through the hit 2000s teen drama The OC, 2 episodes at a time. This week on the show we are covering Season 3, Episode 8, The Game Plan, and Season 3, Episode 9, The Disconnect.
I think you should say the episode or 2 episodes by episodes.
No, I like the way I did it. It was flawless.
I liked episodes by episodes.
So we've decided that
Episode
we're gonna.
days,
You made that.
I know.
It's been a week. Same joke.
but I like it.
We've decided that we looked at the calendar and we realized that if we continue on this way, doing 2 episodes at a time, the season finale of season 3 will hit a mere 6 days before
The
Baby
due date.
Daly's due date. So we've decided that
we've
we're just going to
decided
keep on this
That
way.
he's actually going to be born on St. Patrick's Day.
That would be excellent.
So it should work.
This boy is going to be a 8th Irish. And so, do you have any Irish in you at all?
Yes.
How much?
My grandmother's last name was, my great-grandmother was a Greer. No, my grandmother was a Greer. Barbara Greer. And then she got married.
Okay, but how Irish was she?
I don't know.
My father is half Irish, so I'm a quarter Irish. So we take my quarter, we take whatever of yours.
I'm at least a quarter.
Are you sure?
Well, if my granny was half,
Was your granny half?
I don't know. We'll have to ask Granny. She's into all the genealogy stuff.
Okay. The point is, this is going to be the most Irish fucking kid that's ever been born.
Except for a full
outside of
Irishman.
the people born in Ireland.
And those who are fully Irish in
Look,
the States.
He's going to have an Irish name. Spoilers.
Are you sure?
Yes. He's going to have an Irish first name. He's going to have an Irish last name.
What
And he's
about
gonna
the
be
Irish
born,
middle name?
It's no, he
No?
won't. No. Well, Scott, his middle name's going to be Scott. We can say that.
Well, why
because-
are we giving away 2/3 of the name?
Well, I mean, everyone knew the last name.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe we're going to do something different.
This is not a good Irish accent, dear. I'm sorry.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I don't know.
Hey,
I think it's better than yours.
how about we do the podcast?
Let's hear your accent first.
No, I'm not
Why
going to do
not?
that. Because I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm bad at, and I choose to not do that.
But how are you going to ever get better at it if you never practice? You just drank your coffee and you almost spit it all over your nice mic.
I mean, you kind of sound like you're doing a little Scottish too. Like it's kind of like brave, but kind of not. And
So
it's-
you're
it's
saying
like-
that I'm a brave person?
And we just watched Wolfwalkers not too long ago, and like, can we please?
So you're saying there's a chance that it's a good accent?
there is definitely a chance that it's a good accent.
Okay. Well, we're going to move to the Rosies and the Thornies.
Please continue.
No.
Do it the whole time.
I'll stop.
You have to now.
No, I'm
you
not.
have to do it the whole time.
I already did the Rosies and the Thornies. And we're going to continue with the rest of the show in my normal accent.
Okay.
This is the part of the podcast, this Rosies and Thornies section, where Scott and I look back on this last week and we talk about what's good, what's bad, the Rosies and the Thornies.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to start with the bad, as we always do. So, Scott, excuse me. I'm sorry. It's a
Burpee
lot.
McGee over here.
Let's talk about what was your thorn.
You gave the most disgusting belch
Oh, yes.
I've ever
It was
heard
real bad.
last night. Or was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Or the day before.
It was yesterday
Oh
before
my
we
God.
left the hotel.
Like, it would have won belching competition awards.
it was like the
that
best
thing.
one I'd ever done.
Holy
and I'm not
shit.
really good at belches. I'm better at something else.
Amazing. Our son, he's going to be disgusting.
Yeah.
Our powers
Sorry,
combined.
guys.
This kid's gonna be gross. So my thorn is actually just happened today. Homeownership is fun, y'all.
It is. We have a beautiful house,
I'm
nicely
sitting-
painted walls.
And a
Fresh
broken hot water
carpet.
heater. Yay. I was sitting on the couch doing my work, working away, and Elyse comes in and is like, Scott, I need you to check if this is normal. Which is
I don't know if it's normal.
And so I go, she leads me to the garage, and there's water all over the floor of our garage. And so, of course, I was like, no, that's not normal.
Well, you know, sometimes it's normal for things to like drip.
Yeah, it does. But it
To
drips
have-
like have an overflow.
Yeah.
But
That's
normally,
what I didn't know.
normally when something is overflowing, it means something else is broken.
Oh, okay.
So our hot
Well-
water heater has our hot water heater, the thing that is broken on our hot water heater is the overflow tank. So there's a little tank that attaches to the top of the hot water heater. And it does this because here's your science lesson for the day, kids. When water gets hot, it expands. And
Yeah.
so if you have an absolutely full tank of water and then you heat it up, it gets more than a full tank. So in order to release the pressure on the tank a little bit, it has an overflow tank that allows some of that expanded hot water to go into. Well,
This is so interesting.
that tank has two giant fucking cracks in it. And I don't know if the cracks were there when we moved in and this was like because we were gone over the weekend. And I think like you and I were gone, there was no hot water being used in the house. And so I think the tank just filled all
Well,
the
that
way up.
shouldn't happen because my sister was here.
Yeah, but she probably didn't use that much hot water.
She would have showered.
Maybe she didn't. But the point is, the overflow tank has two giant cracks in it and started dripping slowly over time, which led to the pan where the hot water heater sits in, slowly filled with water, which then has an overflow pipe that runs out of that pan and onto the floor of our
Where's
garage.
where I found the drippy.
And so
You're welcome for putting the pliers away today. Because had I not put the
I know,
pliers
it
away
could- it
today,
would've-
there's no telling when we would have found that out.
So we've now called a plumber. I mean, like I could probably fix it. Like you buy those tanks, they're not that expensive. They're like $50. And I can see where it attaches on. I would just probably do it wrong. So we have a home warranty. We've called them, but we don't have hot water. So I smell.
So the good news was we were both off today, so we didn't necessarily have to go out of the house.
Oh, I was not off today. I
and
just
shower,
never
but you
leave
work from
the house.
home.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then tomorrow I'm working all day from home, aside from when I go teach bar classes. So I can make it another day without like a full shower. I mean, I clean myself with
Well, the
my
plumber's
rags.
supposed to call within 24 hours of us sending the thing. So he should call us this evening or tomorrow morning to
He
set up
better.
the time.
Is there a number we call if he doesn't call us?
Yes.
Okay. That sounds good. We've
Uh-huh.
got a plan.
Yeah, but they're supposed to call to arrange an appointment. So hopefully it'll be that day.
Yeah, it better be tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to be annoyed if not. But
Yeah, me too.
So that's my thorn. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's okay. It's life.
What's your thorn?
I think that we've talked about this before, but I'm just upset about it because my packages were supposed to have arrived last Friday, and last Friday, both of my packages were postponed until a later date. And we've already discussed how late our mail is whenever it's here. I mean, our mail does not even get to our house until between 7:30 and 8 p.m. And that is late.
Not every night. Like there's some nights the guy's running late and he gets there really late.
The majority of the time,
Sometimes it
it's
comes around
very
5.
late.
We're
Well,
like
it's
the
just
last. We're like
frustrating.
where we live now is like the last stop on the mailman's route.
And we used to live at the first stop. And so that
That's
is
true.
what is making me mad
That's true.
because I like my mail in the mornings because there are important things that can happen. What?
I like my mail in the mornings.
I do. Or the early afternoon.
Who cares?
I do.
Why?
Because there are
only-
important things that can come in the mail. Not all the time. I understand that. But there are important things, including packages. And you know what? I bet you on Friday that he just didn't want to deliver that package because it was just late and he didn't want to walk it up. And then on Saturday, he was like, I'm not walking it up. I'm just going to put it in the mailbox.
You are.
I don't like our mailman.
What if our mailman listens to the podcast
No,
and
he
now he
doesn't.
starts like putting poop in our mail.
Well, if he listens to the podcast, then maybe he will get his act together.
I met our mailman, and he seems like a lovely gentleman.
Did he?
Yes, he was very nice. He let us know that he had all this letters for the previous owner because their change of address didn't work, and he said, "Should I give this to you?" And I said, "No." And that was the extent of our conversation.
Well,
It was annoying that the packages came late. I agree with you.
yeah.
Because one of them was a gift for me.
Yes, it was your anniversary gift, and it was so cool, and I was so proud of it. And I knew it wasn't going to get here on the day of our anniversary, but I thought it was going to get here before we were going to go and celebrate on Saturday. And then it didn't get here in time, and it really frustrated me.
It's okay. I got it on Sunday, and I wore it all day Sunday, and I loved it so much. And I think I lost it because
It's on the floor in our bedroom.
No, it's not. I did not put it on the floor. I put it up somewhere. I bet you $100 that it's not on the floor.
Okay.
Okay. I'm holding my hand out to be shaken. We'll update you. This is the worst handshake I've ever gotten, Elyse. Just you folks listening at home. It's like she doesn't understand that the thumb thing. What is this? What is this called? The thumb skin.
The thumb pocket.
The thumb pocket is supposed to touch the thumb pocket. She didn't do that, and so it's still an official bet, and we'll see. We'll next week.
Okay.
But until then,
Let's talk about what was good this week, Scott. Tell me about what was your rose.
So
what made the week great.
I have a lot of Blu-rays and DVDs and 4K discs. I like them a lot, and I didn't buy a lot last year for many reasons. One of which being the fact that I was unemployed for 6 months and didn't feel like buying movies during that period of time would be the best use of my money. Another being, though, that the shelf I used to store all my things was completely full. And then we moved, and I threw away the old shelf.
I needed it.
I got a new shelf from my mother for Christmas, but I think we talked about this before. It was broken. We had to send it back. And so we got the new one last week. So I got to put all my movies up on my new shelf.
It looks so nice.
And it's so nice looking, and it has room for more movies.
Not a lot.
But it's still room for more, baby. And I can move, like, I'll probably, if, like, I end up getting more movies, I'll probably pull the TV stuff out and put the TV, because this is the movie shelf, not the TV shelf. You know?
That's a good point, Scott.
So I'll probably pull that. So I got like 100 more DVDs I can get, baby.
Yeah,
We're set for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So no, it's just, it looks really nice. I like it. It basically completes my office now that's up. We have a few things we have to hang on the wall still. We have some, because it's going to be office/playroom for the baby. So we have some stuff that we have to put, like a storage for future toys for the baby and all that stuff.
We don't have to have that right now.
But yeah, besides that, office is donezo, and it's looking good.
Mighty fine.
Looking good. So yeah, that's my rose. It was really good. It's really, really good. Yeah. And like, okay, before we move on to your thing, because it's going to make me look bad, my rose is also the thing that you're going to talk about. I just wanted that on the record because it makes me look like a shitty husband if I don't also say my rose, which is...
We celebrated our 4-year anniversary this week.
We
did. So I'm glad that you like your movie shelf more than you like me.
See, I knew you were going to say that. 4 years.
Yeah.
What
4 years on Thursday. So that was a lot of fun. On Thursday, I walked in and Scott had some very beautiful flowers for me. And he had a nice card and some chocolates, which is lovely. And then we made dinner together and we had some dinner. I just enjoyed the rest of the day before he had his nightly job of recording.
You're never going to let me live that down?
Nope.
I had to record a podcast episode at least. Oh, but I did this knowing that our true celebration of the anniversary was going to be this weekend.
Yeah. So then on Saturday, we got to celebrate and we got to go to a hotel that is in Dallas that I've actually wanted to go to for a while. And it's called the Statler. And it's kind of a retro style, at least in the lobby, hotel. And so that was fun. We had dinner that night. We had brunch. We went and we got some wedding pie beforehand because when we had our wedding, we didn't really have cake. We had pie and it was delicious.
Love me some pie.
That apple pie is really so good from there.
They call it Lord of the Pies for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's because it is
The
Lord
Lord
of
all
Pies.
the pies. It's delicious. So it was just a good weekend. And my gift for you finally came in. I got him a catet. Catit?
I don't want to help
Catootie?
you. Elyse,
19 sweatshirt? I don't
Elyse
know.
got me
Some Stephen King sweatshirt that he wanted.
Elyse got me a Dark Tower themed hoodie.
Ka.
Yeah. Yes. Ka.
Ka what?
Tet.
Catet.
The
I
na-
said it right.
Yeah, I know.
Why did you laugh at me then and make me try and go through all the pronunciations I could think of?
Because it was funny. No, she got me a great sweater. It's the opening line of The Gunslinger, printed on a t-shirt or on a sweatshirt.
A hoodie because you
And
wanted a hoodie.
I did want a hoodie, and it's wonderful. It's from Catet 19, the website that does licensed Stephen King gear. They got a bunch of cool shit there.
But if you're looking for a Stephen King sweatshirt from that store and you don't remember the name of the store, you don't just Google Stephen King sweatshirt.
No.
Because then you get Etsy and all these other things. You have to Google the Dark Tower sweatshirts and then the store pops up.
You did so good, babe. Considering you've not read a word of these books, you did so good. Can you tell me
Thank
who
you.
the main character of The Dark Tower is?
Roland.
Nailed it.
Yes.
And his friend?
Jake.
And his other friend?
Oi.
I mean, yeah, you're right. It's not the one I was thinking about, but you're nailing it.
Thank you.
No spoilers, babe. You
Don't
know
ask
some
me any
spoilers.
more questions,
Okay,
please.
I won't.
Because I'm not going to get them right. But let's go ahead and move on
Okay.
to our next part of the show where we're going to talk about the actual show that we watch each week. Our 2 episodes this week were The Game Plan, which is the 8th episode in season 3 of the OC. It was written by Corey Martin, and you're never going to believe this. It was directed by the one and only Tate Donovan.
What?
Jimmy Cooper came back and directed an episode.
So, like, here's how I imagine the situation going. Tate Donovan's like, whatever he was on, like, he finished filming Hercules, let's say. He finished filming
Voice work done.
And he's like, I need some fucking work. Can I come back on the OC? And they were like, we kind of wrote your character out forever. He was a giant dick to his daughter, and there's really no coming back from that. But they were like, hey, we got this episode that maybe you can direct. And I imagine Tate Donovan going, directing? Sure.
I'm really curious. I didn't look up to see if he directed any more episodes in the whole series.
He hasn't up until this point because we would have commented on it.
This is the first one.
And hopefully the last.
And I was just shocked. So what I'm actually wondering, so that was the 8th episode. And then The Disconnect is the 9th episode of season 3 of the OC, written by Stephanie Savage. And this episode had 2 directors, Tony Warmby and Ian Toynton. And both of those, it's not like one of them was a first timer and the other one was...
No, those are 2 old hats.
Yeah, they're 2. So maybe one of them was supposed to direct the 8th episode and then something happened and they couldn't finish. And so they just got bumped back. So then they both teamed up to do the 9th one and then just filled Jimmy in because...
Or they just wanted
Jimmy.
to throw Jimmy a bone, and it was really Warmby or Toynton that directed the 8th episode. And they just said, don't worry, we'll give you a credit on the next one. I know you did the 8th one and we gave it to Tate Donovan, but we'll give you a credit on the next one.
Maybe so.
The weird thing, and not to speak...
Both were... they aired in December, the 1st and the 8th, a week apart.
So I don't know if the audience can hear this, but our dogs are now wrestling in the background, which they always wait to do right up until we record.
It's fine. They're playing. They're having a good time.
They're having a great time.
They really are. And we are too. We're going to continue and we're going to have a good time.
So here's the thing about our Tate Donovan episode.
Yeah.
You can... Like, I obviously I didn't know that this was directed by Tate Donovan, but I did notice some weirdness before I knew who directed it in this episode.
I remember you stating that. Ghost agrees.
There is. They're so loud.
We're just going to have to get used to things like this happening because...
I know. There's no way there's not going to be a baby crying in the middle.
There's going to be things that are happening. Newborn coos.
They're so adorable, though. Like, I can't help
They
it.
do love each other, and that's what's great.
It's like the thing, Ghost plays by growling, and it seems like she's mad, but she's actually loving it. So this Tate Donovan episode, there's a part in this episode where a character gets hit by a car. The character named Johnny gets hit by a car. And it's like, when you look at the show and you imagine what it, like, the design, I think, was for tension to build and build and build and build. And then... fucking dog. Tension to build and build and build and build, and then there's this huge explosion moment where he gets hit by the car. But the way the scene is structured, it's not that at all. It's this really weird out of nowhere thing where like three characters are arguing, and then Ryan walks away, and then Marissa goes to chase after him, and then Johnny's like, no, I'll get him, and then he just walks casually into the road, and then bam, there's a car there, and he's hit, and you're just like, what? That's what?
Yeah.
So I think if Tate Donovan did actually direct this one, and it was not our conspiracy theory, I think that's the sign of a rookie director in my mind. But let's talk about the episodes as a whole.
Let's talk about it.
So the game plan, our first episode, here's what this one's about. As college options are weighted, Seth looks east, Summer west, and Taylor looks happy with their possible separation. Ryan, meanwhile, tries to persuade Marissa to go to school at all before Johnny proposes another direction. Elsewhere, Kirsten offers Julie a business opportunity. Elsewhere, not...
I looked it up. He only directs this one episode. And then... he actually directs a few other episodes here and there on different series. He's directed one episode of Weeds, not The Weeds.
The Weeds.
He directed 2 episodes of Gossip Girl, which means that they didn't hate him enough to not bring him back on another show by the same producer. 2 episodes of Glee. 1 episode of Bloodline. Never more than 2, though. So, you know... He's a filler and doesn't really do a good job. They don't really keep him around.
Tate.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, so that's the game plan. The next episode that we're covering, The Disconnect, Ryan takes an internship working for Sandy and Matt at the Newport Group, but he ends up working hard to save Matt's reputation. Summer and Seth, determined to get accepted to Brown University, do whatever it takes to stand out at Harbor School. Johnny finally tells Marissa how he really feels. After Ryan and Marissa cross paths, they end up telling each other the truth.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, Elyse, tell me what you thought about these 2 episodes overall. Maybe start with the game plan. Tell me briefly what you thought about the game plan, briefly what you thought about the disconnect, and then we'll move into Rosies and Thornies.
Well, you know, they're seniors in high school, and so you're going to have the whole college conversation, and it was handled okay, I guess, as far as all the characters except for one, which is Marissa. And it's just, should she probably go to college? Sure. Does everybody have to go to college? No. If she decides she doesn't want to do that, should everyone try and pressure her into doing it?
Yes.
No. Anyways, that was frustrating because if she doesn't go to college, then maybe she won't be around the rest of them, right? And that is what we like. Mm-hmm. No Marissa. So, anyways, that's how I felt about the game plan. Then the disconnect. I'm glad that they're doing something with Ryan's character that moves him towards a direction of him possibly showing that he's, you know, good at the architecture and everything, but not my favorite storyline. Just didn't really like it. But I did like one storyline, and I'm going to have that be my Rosie, and I'm not going to talk about it right now.
Sure.
But I'm sure everyone can guess who it revolves around.
I mean, like, here's the deal. The cool thing about, we kind of stumbled into this doing 2 episodes a week structure, and it does interesting things for me having to watch 2 in a row like this. In the first place, these were like the 2 college episodes. Like the first one is, where are we going to go to college? And then the next one is competing with each other for college stuff. And I thought that mirrored each other very nicely.
It did,
but the other thing it does is it shows you kind of feel whiplash. I think that this is something I've never experienced because I've never binged the show before. And even I've never really watched 2 episodes at a time since we started this, except for last week. And I've noticed over these past 2 weeks, the show, like, whiplash is like crazy about some of this stuff. Like at the end of the first episode this week, the game plan is Summer decides, okay, she's going to go to college with Seth He's going to get into Brown. She's going to try to go to
Providence,
which is a very good school. I think I know someone that went to Providence. Did Kate go to Providence?
I don't know.
I think so. Anyway, it's a very good school in Rhode Island, very close to Brown. And so they've worked that problem out. And then we move to the next episode, and which for me was like 6 minutes later, and suddenly it's like, oh, turns out Summer's actually super smart, and now she wants to go to Brown too. And now this adorable Seth and Summer reconciliation when they've decided to go to school in the same place. Now they're competing for the one spot at Brown. And I was just like, whoa, this feels so out of turn with how everything in the last episode went. It just felt weird to me. I enjoyed both storylines. Like, I love all the college stuff. I love the smart Summer stuff, which we're going to talk about later. But the two of them next to each other like that really threw me for a loop here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was that just me? I don't know.
I've seen it so many times it doesn't bother me, but that could just be me.
Okay. But overall, I mean, yes. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed both these episodes. I even enjoyed the Marissa college stuff. I did not like where they went with Marissa in the second episode, but Marissa like struggling with whether or not she's going to go to college and dealing with the trauma that she hasn't dealt with. Actually, there's a moment in this. The episode starts with Marissa saying, episode 8 starts with Marissa saying, I've done the research. With my background, I can't get into college. And then like 30 minutes later, she's meeting with a guidance counselor, and the guidance counselor like, yeah, your stuff looks great. You should have no problem getting in. So it's like, so it turns out you didn't really do the research. And actually what it turns out is she knows she's going to have to explain why she was expelled, and she
doesn't know how to do that.
She doesn't know how to do that, and she's not ready to like write down what happened to her, what she went through. And there's a really powerful scene in that 8th episode where she's sitting in front of her computer attempting to write out what happened. And if this was Toynton's job, or not Toynton, if this was Tate Donovan's job, it's flashing and cutting between past moments of trauma with her, and not just what Ryan's brother did to her, but like her relationship with her father, her relationship with her mother, like literally like 3 seasons worth of drama and trauma that Marissa has gone through builds to this one moment, and she just loses it. And I think it's a great, Misha Barton, I think did a great job in the scene.
Misha and Tate?
I liked all that stuff a whole lot. But then like they move past it, and in 3-9, like Marissa's role is just, oh no, he likes me, and I'm lying to my boyfriend again. How many plot lines in this show are going to be, I'm lying, and it's no good?
A lot.
Okay, let's move on to Rosies and Thorties. Let's talk about our favorite and least favorite things about these 2 episodes.
Okay.
Elyse, start us off. What was your thorn this week?
Mine was more of in episode 9 than it was in episode 8. Mm-hmm. It started to happen in episode 8 because Johnny got hit by the car, so his knee was damaged.
ACL torn. Can't
so
go.
He has to have surgery.
Can't join the surf league with that torn ACL.
So his whole plan has now been completely rewritten. And I did like at the end of episode 8 where he was like, going to get the surgery, going to do the rehab, going to get back on my board and do it again. Mm-hmm. Because that was a good message from Marissa to hear.
Yeah.
You know,
oh, yeah.
So that was good. But then Marissa decides that because Johnny's mom is a nurse and is not very oftentimes at home.
She busy.
That Marissa's just going to be the one that is going to go into the house and just take care of Johnny, because that's just what she does. Is she just gets into people's business and just roots and becomes a weed.
But you know what the problem is?
Johnny likes Marissa.
He likes it.
You have to help me.
Well, I thought Marissa was helping you.
She is. She's driving me, feeding me, bringing me my homework. Now she's trying to get me in with some doctor.
Well, if she's a good friend, I don't see the problem.
No, she's too nice. She's spending too much time with me.
No, she tends to be a little clingy.
No, it's not that I don't like it. It's that I do. A lot.
I called this like so long ago. This is a major problem.
And it's just awful.
So the big dramatic, this is what's so funny about this show. One episode ago, the big dramatic thing with Marissa was a culmination of all the trauma she suffered for the past 2.5 seasons, culminating in this big impactful moment that by the end of the episode, she like is able to work through partially, or at least work through her difficulties with Ryan and maybe talking about that. The big dramatic moment in this episode, Marissa slept over at Johnny's. They both fell asleep on the couch and nothing happened.
And then later, Johnny had too many painkillers and he told Marissa that he loved her.
And she doesn't know what to do.
Well, maybe stop spending time with him because he's not your boyfriend and he didn't ask for your help.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it. You want to be helpful. I get wanting to be helpful, but there are other ways to help. And stop.
Stop, Marissa.
And then she was like, oh, I enjoy being a nursemaid. Which then you know what she's going to want to do, Scott.
Go to college to become a nurse?
Probably so.
She got going to Berkeley and become a nurse.
Yeah. Because evidently the guy that came and had dinner with them from Berkeley thinks that both Ryan and Marissa are great fits for Berkeley.
I don't understand how he did that. Yeah, so that like there's this whole plot in the 8th episode that we're not really going to talk about very much because I didn't care about it.
I didn't either.
It's the Sandy wants Seth to go to Berkeley really bad, but Seth wants to go to Brown. Like, I feel like...
But then really when they have the conversation, Sandy's like,
just like, of course.
all I want you to do is consider it,
Yeah.
and I want you to be happy. So Brown's a good school, and they hug it out, and it's all fine.
Yeah. It's because I think maybe the reason I didn't care for it is I never believed that Sandy would actually be that limiting. Like, he's just not the type of person.
If our kid doesn't go to one of the 2 schools we went to,
I will be happy because I don't want my son going to either of those 2 schools.
Scott.
Your school's really expensive, and my school's
Scott.
What?
He's got to go to one of our schools.
No, he doesn't.
They're the best ones.
I hope he leaves Texas. I hope he gets out there and explores the world.
No, we don't want him to go that far away from home.
Babe, we're talking 18 years from now. We'll be so old.
Get out. Go away.
Anyway.
You have to pay for your own plane ticket home.
Yeah. What were we talking about? I forget. I don't even know.
That's my thorn. We're done. What's your thorn?
My thorn, there's a character we haven't talked about very much called Matt. He is a young 20-something that Sandy went into business with. He joined the Newport group to kind of help Sandy build it up. And in this episode, as the summary read, Ryan joins the Newport group as an intern because he's so good with construction and architecture when the show wants him to be. And so Matt and Ryan are working late on some big presentation, and Matt needs to blow off some steam. And how does he blow off some steam?
Goes to the strip club.
He takes this 17-year-old boy to the strip club. And it's one of those...
But the deal is, Scott, they didn't go to the strip club to see strippers. Matt went to the strip club in order to go to one of the back rooms with his friend from law school. And all they do, Scott, is just talk.
This is why this is my thorn, because it's the dumbest thing. So yeah, like Matt takes him to the strip club, and Ryan's like, "What are we doing here, man? I thought we were just getting a coffee and then going back to work. What are we doing here?" And then like this girl's giving Ryan a lap dance, and it's always...
At first, I forgot that this whole thing happened. And then really quickly, just at a glance, I thought that this was Holly for a second. I was like, oh, Holly came back and she's doing this.
Yikes.
No, go away, Holly. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised.
But yeah, and it's one of those like network TV strip clubs where they're just in on their underwear and they never take their clothes off, and yet they're talking about them as if they're naked, which is always weird. I don't know why they insist on doing this, but yeah, like the whole time, and like so Matt stays
complaining.
Matt stays at the slip. Yeah, I want to see some titties, babe. I want to see some Fox 4 titties.
I'm disappointed in you.
So the whole time we're supposed to think that Matt's like bad news now, and he's like addicted to the strip club, and he like spends all night getting a lap dance. And so then when he goes to the presentation the next morning, he's not prepared. He hasn't done the numbers, and Sandy just fucking fires him outright. And it's like, and then we actually learn by the stripper who comes in and says, actually, I wasn't giving him a dance. We were just going to the champagne room to talk, because he's under a lot of stress because his girlfriend dumped him for leaving Chicago. And I don't know, I just felt it was like so stupid. It's just like...
It is. It was
just
so
not
stupid.
A very good plot line at all. It's just silly. Like, I just remember like the strip, like Ryan and Sandy are arguing about him firing Matt, and then like the stripper walks to the door and said, because he's having a rough time right now. And everyone's like, the stripper? And then it's like, no, I'm his friend and I'm in law school. I'm dancing my way through law school, which is fine. I'm not judging that. Like, that's a completely fine, legitimate thing to do. Totally fine with that. It's just a silly like fake out they did where they were trying to make Matt like addicted to boobies or something. And he's not. He's not.
Are you sure?
Well, I mean, as addicted to boobies as all people who like boobies are, because they are very addicting.
Ugh. They're gross. In my opinion.
Well,
always in the way. Large pieces of fat that people just find attractive.
It's in our nature.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we move on, please?
Yes. My rose. Scott?
What's your rose?
Summer is smart. And not just in her own way, but in the same way that Seth is smart way.
So it turns out that I am totally smart.
Yeah, you are in your own way.
Not in my own way, in your way too. Apparently, I have a lot of what they call aptitude.
Really?
Oh my
And
God.
I'm so excited about it, and I'm here for it because just like Summer said, there's always one girl every year that the guidance counselor says spent her entire high school career focusing more on boys and parties and not applying herself. And that is Summer, who got, whenever the SAT was out of 2,400, got a 2,300 on her SAT.
Remarkable score.
And Seth doesn't know what to do about it.
How far has our girl Summer come?
She's
From season 1, where she was the shirtless wonder.
Yeah.
Airhead.
Who, we were getting glimpses into her wit and her smarts because of all that she read, about, what was that one magazine when they went to that party and she was trying to be all up on the business people.
Oh, I don't remember.
Anyways, they made it look like she was smart, and then she got back to playing a little bit more of like the dumb valley girl. But now she is smart, Scott, and she's smart enough to get into all those schools that Seth and Taylor are going to apply to because of her SAT scores. And I love that, number 1, Summer is smart. I love that, number 2, the competition that now Seth and Summer have in order to try and get the hook that the guy that is the admissions person for Brown says that they need.
Because Brown only takes one student from Harbor every year. So who's it going to be?
I don't know. Is it going to be Tuba playing Summer?
Or Pirate?
Or is it going to
Seth?
be pirate mascot Seth? Because I don't know. I think Seth's head could fit inside the tuba, but I think that peg leg may be bigger than Summer.
So for the first time in the show this season, real conflict happens between Seth and Summer.
Yeah.
Real conflict in these two episodes. And the thing that I appreciate about it is that it's fresh conflict. It's stuff that they haven't encountered before. And it's like they're working through it.
But it's also real.
Yeah.
It is something that normal high schoolers who are in a relationship their senior year are going to have to go through. So it wasn't just made up, oh my gosh, we're in the OC. This is legitimate.
And let me tell you something about being 35 years old and watching this thing. I'm looking at this conflict between Seth and Summer about are we going to go to the same school? And all I can think is, y'all are going to break up anyway. You don't
And let
stay
me
together
tell
with your
you
high school
something.
sweetheart. Sorry.
Your freshman year, you, number 1, do not want to have a long distance relationship. Number 2, need to be able to get to know people at the college. And if you want to date freshman year, that's fine. But date people that are at the college. Speaking from experience.
Yeah.
Bad move. Don't go to college in a relationship.
I was not in a relationship when I went to college. I did go to college with my friend Michael, my best friend in high school, and we roomed together in college.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about.
I know,
fine.
but I obviously I know that. But I even think like that. Michael was a great roommate. I'm not saying anything's bad with him. I almost think to be successful in college, you really have to challenge yourself and you really have to get out of your comfort zone.
That's true.
And I think making it so you are as not alone, but like forced into needing to develop new relationships, new friendships, new everything, I think is really important. So I'd say if I could do it all over again, I would want to be friends with Michael, and like we were in the same major, but I probably wouldn't want to room with him. I'd probably want to challenge myself and room with someone else and challenge myself to get out of my box. And I eventually did that. It took a couple years at school, but I got there. So yeah, I mean, college is crazy experience, totally new. And
Like my magnet says on our fridge, life begins at the end of your comfort zone.
it's a wise magnet.
Yes,
It's a
it
wise
is.
magnet.
I know.
What's it holding up right now? Picture of our
Nothing.
baby?
Nothing.
Bummer. But Smart Summer is great. I love the scene where Seth is sitting on the couch reading Kierkegaard.
Is it the one that I made you rewind?
Yes.
Yeah.
Seth is reading Kierkegaard, which is kind of ridiculous. Like, I know we're saying, oh, Seth is very smart, but like reading philosophy, I don't know. Like even I'm pretty intelligent. I did very well at school. I was not reading philosophy for fun when I was 17 years old. I was
neither
reading
was
a
I.
lot, but I was not reading philosophy. I would read Kierkegaard now. I haven't, but I want to. But it's kind of silly. And so Summer just decides, well, I'm smart too. We'll read it together. And she just like gives the book the best look ever.
She like starts out like, oh, and then you see her eyes start to like squint and her brows furrow, and then she just makes like this look of disgust on her face, like, oh my gosh, what is this?
And it's such a good conflict too, because as Seth says near the end of the episode, you know, Summer's the good-looking one, Summer's the popular one, Summer's the outgoing one, Summer's all these things, and the only thing he felt he had was, well, I'm smarter than her. I'm smart. I'm good at school. And this is kind of ripped away from him, and he reacts in, I think, a way that any immature teenager would react, which is he's like, no, that was my thing and you took it from me and now I'm mad at you. And they eventually get to a place where they understand it, because that's not, he's just feeling his self-confidence was hacked away a little bit, and that's not her fault, and he shouldn't take that out on her. He needs to deal with it himself, and he does.
Look, I'm sorry I've been such an ass, okay? It's just, you're so superior to me in so many ways, you know? You're better looking, you're more popular, you're stronger, and not just emotionally.
Cohen, I'll always look up to you. Not just because you're taller than me.
I am taller than you.
Because the end of the episode is they're both collectively working on their Brown admission essays, and then they're like swapping laptops and proofreading each other, and then they mail them both at the same time.
Did you love it?
It's so adorable.
Yeah.
I love it.
And so I guess we kind of talked about your rose a little bit. Is there anything else you want to elaborate on as far as your rose?
My rose is just all the college stuff. And I think we've hit on it basically throughout the episode. I thought the college stuff was really great.
It is.
I think this is just, it's whenever you're doing a teen show and it's in senior year, like you said, you've got to do the college stuff, because it's always going to be on characters' minds, whether they're going to college or not.
Where are they going?
I'm very interested to see how the show deals with this, because I know there's another season. And I think a lot of things that shows run into is they can't separate all their characters. So like we have, in this instance, we have two characters who are going all the way to the East Coast to Brown, or wanting to go. We have two characters that are wanting to stay in California, but are going to go to Berkeley, which is not in Southern California. Berkeley is in Northern California. So the show is called The Orange County, and all of our four characters are wanting to leave the Orange County.
And I'm sure you can gather this because there are only 4 seasons, and you've talked about making that leap. And some shows do it and some shows don't. And they have a 4th season and they don't have a 5th.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do it well.
Because like the structure of high school and building your show around the structure and the challenges of high school is, you know, usually what people are thinking of when they make these shows. I mean, the same thing happened with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where that was a show about high school. Literally the tagline for the show was "High School is Hell." And that is a show that had to reinvent itself after high school. And the 4th season, the college season, is arguably one of the worst ones. And then the show kind of got its feet under it and figured it out
pivot?
from there. They did. They changed things up. They changed things around. They had a plan. And I mean, I am interested to see, like, are they going to force these characters to give up on their dreams? It's always fun when you give characters dreams. Like, they've just decided that Seth has wanted to go to Brown forever, which I don't remember ever hearing about that before these episodes.
No.
Not important. He just always wanted to go to the Brown. Are they going to take that away from him to keep him in Orange County? I mean, that's a dramatic choice too, sure, but it feels mean. Are they going to separate Seth and Summer? Only one person gets in from Brown. Which one's it going to be? Is it going to be who's it going to be? Summer? Ooh.
Who do you think?
Ooh. I just really,
If it's one of them.
if if they're going to actually do the thing where one of them is going to not be on the show as much because they're going to be off somewhere else, then it's going to be Summer, I think, because I think the show revolves around Seth too much for him to take a back seat in the show. And I could also see Rachel Bilson star like rising, and maybe so in the fourth and final season, she's just like, I'm gonna only be in a few episodes. Give me like a 8 episode run of these 16. I could see that, but that would suck. I don't know. It's all fun though. It's all fun. I don't think Marissa's gonna get into Berkeley though. I don't think she has good enough grades to get into Berkeley, and her parents aren't rich anymore, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
Well, Scott, we're just going to have to see where all of the little birdies fly and land.
Little birdies.
Yep.
And you know what's interesting?
What?
In previous episodes, I've talked about how much I loved the adult storylines, and I just didn't really care about the kids' storylines. I feel like this season
It's been more about the kids.
has been more about the kids, and I've enjoyed the kids' storylines, and I've not liked the adult storylines as much. It's probably because of Taylor Townsend, which is my hidden second rose. Which is
great.
The best fucking character in the show.
Scott asked me while we were watching the show why I couldn't be more like Taylor Townsend. And I said, no.
Well, because there's a part where Taylor actually like helps Summer. Because we didn't talk about this.
We are in relationship status.
Okay.
I did put it in there.
Okay. Well, there's a part where Taylor helps Summer, and it's very sweet and very nice, and you kind of like Taylor. And then Summer says, Taylor, we are friends. And Taylor says, oh my God, we are? Great, because I have this great movie marathon that we can do. Taylor's a cinephile, and it's adorable.
And Scott loves it, and he wishes that I were one too.
I do.
But it's okay. You introduced me to the Criterion Collection.
I don't like. I think people like talk about, like, we watched High Fidelity this past weekend, and like there's this.
I don't think you want me to be exactly
there's
like you.
There's this whole quote in High Fidelity that's like, it's like the things you like are more important to a relationship than anything else. And I just don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I would enjoy our relationship as much if we liked all of the same things to the exact same level.
Right. I think it's a balance of you like things enough to where you enjoy doing them together, but it's okay and it's actually better for one person to enjoy them more. That way they have something that they can contribute to.
Plus, I just don't want a marry girl version of me. Gross.
Yeah. Well, I definitely didn't marry a boy version of me.
Yeah.
I'm making one.
Although our tummies are the same size these days.
I think mine's bigger.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, episodes overall. Loved Taylor Townsend. Can this just become a show about Taylor Townsend? Would that be okay?
Should we find
Maybe
some
that's
sort
what's
of
gonna
segment
happen.
we can give?
Is Rachel Bilson's going to leave the show? And then we're like, Taylor Townsend, it's your turn, baby.
Do we need to have a Taylor section?
I don't like just like
Taylor talk?
Taylor talk? Yeah, we'll do it. That's fine.
Okay.
Just
We'll start that next week.
Okay.
So this week, Scott, come on, tell me about the style in this episode. Hey, come on, Scott. Tell me about the style in these episodes, yeah.
Episodes. You worked the stupid joke back in again.
I did.
So we talked last week about how I realized that you and Rachel Bilson have the exact same style.
In this season.
And that trend continues even more, and to a point where I realize I've just married. Teen me watching the little bits of the show I had a major crush on Rachel Bilson, and I've realized that I just married her because this woman dresses like exactly like you dress.
Well,
Like,
I will
hers-
say this dress with this large belt, I
you
would
wouldn't
wear
the big belt.
I would wear a belt, maybe not that wide,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe the dress not so much of a collar like that. But I would do something similar
And
to that.
I swear to God, you have this exact outfit.
I have worn something almost identical to that before, yes. And I had a purse that exact color.
So yeah. So Summer,
It's a great outfit.
Summer is going. This is when she's going to the Brown event.
Yes.
So she's kind of dressed up more. So she's wearing like a tube skirt.
It's a
and she's-
pencil skirt,
whatever, and she's wearing a black blouse,
cap sleeve blouse.
cap sleeve.
Yeah, I don't like cap sleeve. I don't wear
Words are
cap sleeves.
just made up. And she's got a purse, and she looks good.
She looks beautiful.
She looks like you've worn this exact outfit before. I'm telling you.
I have. I've worn a version of it.
Especially when she's compared to Marissa, who's standing next to her in the same kind of shirts that Marissa's always worn. What are these shirts called that Marissa's wearing right here?
Gross.
It's got like the belt
It
thingy,
has the
but
drop
the
waist.
flare. Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you are just Rachel Bilson now, and I can't believe I've just figured this out now. The mind does funny things to you, doesn't it?
And my Summer's character.
Also, look
though.
at these fucking boobs.
Oh, wow. I hadn't even noticed those.
So
Juju.
Julie Cooper is wearing knee-high boots that are they're high-heel boots. They're covered in butterflies.
They're so tacky.
They're so tacky, and yet
She lands a date.
she's fucking pulling them off, babe. Julie Cooper can do no wrong. Look at her.
It's because she's got great legs.
She does. And she's got great butterfly boots.
Yeah.
You know, when I said butterfly boots, do you remember that song Butterfly Kisses?
Butterfly kisses.
Oh my God. I feel like I heard that song 7,000 times.
Million white flowers all up in her hair.
Butterfly. That's the only part of it I know. I'm looking it up right now.
I must have done something right
1995.
to deserve.
Little white flowers.
This is the song that one of the
They
wrote-
every morning.
I forget. Did they write it because of the girl that died at Columbine, or
I don't know.
something like that? Or
I
they
don't
sang it and played it. There's some story with
All
that.
I know
one
is that
person from
this song came
Columbine.
out in 1995, and I heard it 700 million times.
Sweet 16 today. She's looking like her mama a little more every day.
See, I pulled up the lyrics for Elyse, which I realized
One
almost
part
immediately was a
woman.
mistake.
And the other part, girl. It's a good thing you're not having a girl. We're having a boy, because you'd sing this song.
No, I would not.
Yes, you would.
I can sing about butterfly kisses to my boy. I won't, but I could. Anyway, butterfly boots. We went on a tangent there.
Yep.
The end.
So, okay, let's move on. Let's talk about our relationship status. We're going to start with Sandy and Kirsten. Last week, they were at a 10 out of 10. As you have touched on, Scott, there's not a whole lot that is going on with these adults in this season. And really, there's not a whole lot that's going on with Sandy and Kirsten that really brings any sort of conflict or tension.
No.
And so this week, Kirsten recognizes Sandy's plan to get Seth into Berkeley. Instead of meddling herself, she lets Sandy learn his lesson on his own. Sandy's also trying to figure out how to run a business, and Kirsten is supportive this week. She still offers a listening ear, showing that she wants to be involved because she cares about Sandy and his life, and she supports him. So, I mean, it's still a 10 out of 10, not because it's like super awesome something happened, but it's just a plateau right now.
They're both just killing it,
Yeah.
babe. They're just killing
So,
it.
They're fine.
We didn't talk about Julie and Kirsten's business plan.
No, we're going to skip that because we'll have more time later.
Oh, great. They're going to like do a datings. I don't know.
High-end dating.
Next up, we have Summer and Seth. Last week, we gave them...
You gave them 7/9 out of 10.
No, I gave them like...
No, Scott.
I
You
did not-
gave them. I copied and pasted.
I gave them like something and 7/9 out of 10. Probably 9 and 7/9 out of 10. I remember you getting really annoyed with me. Maybe it's because you misunderstood what I was doing. I wasn't giving just 7/9 out of 10.
Was it 9 and 7/9?
I think it was 9 and 7/9.
Okay, well then we'll just roll it up to the whole number then.
Classic senior
9.
couple conversation going this week about the future and college. Neither one of them have given much thought to going to school on opposite coasts, and it starts to drive a wedge. First because Summer wasn't smart enough to go to Brown, then because she actually is. They come out supportive of each other in the end.
9 or 8, you can choose.
I'm gonna give him 8 and 3.5/16
Okay.
out of 10.
Okay, you just put all that in there.
I will.
I'll just copy and paste
I will.
it. So Ryan and Marissa last week had a 6 out of 10. Ryan wants Marissa this week to consider college, and she doesn't want to go. He attempts to help her see why and how she can make it work. Eventually, Marissa stops rejecting the idea. While this is all going on, Marissa was spending lots of time with Johnny, and Johnny declared his love for her. Instead of hiding this, Marissa was honest with Ryan this week, and he didn't blow up. So there was some progress there on the relationship front. So we're going to move him up to a 7 out of 10.
That's true. They had this really nice phone call at the
They
end.
did.
They do this adorable thing where they both really need to talk to each other, so they go to each other's houses. And oops, they're
Both in the wrong place.
they gift of the Magi visiting each other. And so they call each other on the phone and they just chat. They just have a chat-a-risky about what's been going on. And they're honest with each other and they're supportive of each other. And
it only took them this long.
it only took 3.
And they had to be in different places.
Yeah, they can't be in the same room at the same. Maybe Marissa should go to college on the East Coast. Maybe they can try this thing out. Yeah, I like that. Next up, we have Seth and Taylor, the best character on the show. Last week, we gave them a 1 out of 10. Taylor is still hoping to jump on that Seth train and tries to come in between Seth and Summer by stirring up some future talk / college drama. She is successful, but then feels bad after Summer gives in too easily. I think I'm going to play the speech Summer gives to Taylor right here because
a good one.
It's really sad.
It was.
It's really sad.
You want the truth, Taylor? What if he goes to college and meets a bunch of really smart and interesting girls and realizes that that's who he's supposed to be with?
And that you're just his high school girlfriend. Cute, you're fun to be with, but doesn't want his kids to have your DNA.
Yeah. Maybe we should just end it, you know.
Summer.
You be nice to him, okay?
And I love her so much. And I love that it works on because Taylor has the heart of a lion and the courage of a lion and the strength
Of a lion.
of a lion and
She's perfect.
perfect. Taylor switches her tune and is not dead set on helping her friends and is now
sorry.
dead set on helping her friends stay together in college. But she still likes Seth, right? Yeah. I think she's going to move on from Seth.
Okay.
Okay, who? Oh, Johnny? Taylor's got to get with someone. There's got to be some sort of triangle. It's not going to be Ryan. They haven't said a word to each other the entire time they've both existed on the show. Who do we got? We got. She does like older men. Maybe Sandy. Ooh, can't get the Seth. Go for Seth Senior. I like it. I like it.
Well, they're at a 1 out of 10.
Okay.
And then last we have Johnny and Marissa. That last week we're at a 1 out of 10. Classic Marissa move, going to someone who seemingly needs help, didn't ask for it, and is so pushy that she makes men fall in love with her. Johnny takes a lot of pain medication and confesses to Marissa how he really feels about her. It freaks her out, and she is trying to distance herself a little more. But now that he has revealed that he actually loves her, I'm going to bump him up to a 2 out of 10, just because his feelings have intensified.
Sure. But
So,
she rejects them.
yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Sort of. She does.
So next week, Scott, we're going to watch episodes 10 and 11, the Chrismica Bar Mitzvah and the Safe Harbor.
Now, whose bar mitzvah could this be?
I don't know, Scott. Whose do you think?
There's no character in bar mitzvah range.
No.
I'm very confused.
Could I give you a clue?
Sure, give me a clue.
But there's a character who's never had one.
They're going to give Ryan a bar mitzvah? He's not Jewish. He's not Jewish. I guess he's honorary Jewish now.
Okay.
It's time to make you a man, Ryan.
You think he's been a man for a while, babe?
He made a man.
Yeah, he did.
Is his child? Did we ever find out whether that's his child or not?
We were made to believe that it was his.
Okay. So he just got a baby out there, just walking around. Who knows how many babies Ryan's got walking around? And the next episode is titled The Safe Harbor, right? So the Chrismica, Bar Mitzvah, and the Safe Harbor. I'm kind of bummed we're not going to get to cover the Chrismica episode in one episode. Maybe we'll spend a little bit more time on this one. We'll see what happens.
Of course we will.
We'll see what happens in the Safe Harbor, maybe. If not a lot happens, we'll focus on the Chrismica, Bar Mitzvah.
Of course. Okay. Well, Scott, that's all that we have time for this week. So if you're listening and you like this podcast, you can check out all the other shows that we do over at doofmedia.com. Do we have any special shows happening this week?
Just our usual stuff. And we do have a bonus Patreon exclusive episode every week now. And this week's we'll see Ruben and Elliot and Elliot's sister talking about episode 3 of Star Wars.
Oh.
They've been going through the prequels and saying crazy things like they're better than the originals.
The prequels?
Yeah. If you want to hear...
Are they watching these when they're on drugs?
I think...
Okay.
I think yes.
Okay.
It's the only logical explanation.
It's the only logical explanation, yes.
But if you want to check out that, you can support us on Patreon at the $10 level. It's patreon.com/doofmedia. But there's,
And you also have this week is your director's episode for Doof, right?
Yeah,
You're
Doofcast.
doing Guillermo del Toro.
Mm-hmm.
And so this week you're watching Pan's Labyrinth.
Correct.
And you're going to talk about that. So if you like Guillermo or if you like Pan's Labyrinth, you can watch and then listen.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have Do the Right Thing, the weekly writing prompt podcast. Hasn't had a new episode out on Monday the 18th. That's today. And if you're not writing, if you're not participating, if you're a writer, this is great stuff. I love to see the activity. You go into the subreddit for Do the Right Thing. So much writing going on there. It's really cool. And then you have
cool.
Pale Reflections, Ruben and Elliot's show all about Wild Bow's Pale. That show's been going on for a while now. I think they're on arc 8 now. I thought that was supposed to be a shorter book, Wild Bow. What's up? What's up?
When you get in the groove. Okay. If you happen to be listening via Apple Podcasts, why don't you head on over there and drop us a rating and review? We would love to have all 5 stars and a little bit of some words about how wonderful we are.
Especially Elyse. People tell me I'm wonderful enough. She needs more compliments.
I do. I don't get enough.
Yeah.
Scott doesn't give
Elyse
them
that
to me.
Yeah, never.
It's true.
That's what happens when you've been married 4 years. Compliments out the window.
Yep.
Especially when a baby comes along. I got to give that.
Everyone's going to talk about the baby, and then I'm just left alone over here to rot in the corner.
To rot. A little dramatic there, babe.
It's okay.
Hey, folks, we'll see you next week. Have a good one.